If you're watching this on repeat, I'm waiting for people to show up. Pardon the shakiness. Yeah. You know what, I'm going to put this down for a second. Oh, hello guys. I'm sorry, I just put the thing down for a second. One more second. Sorry. I had to take a sip of my coffee. I'm just waffling on. Well, only got 2 guys. I'm sorry to make this boring. 3 guys. I don't want to make it boring or anything, but I want to wait till at least there's a few people here, just in case the stream goes down like it did before. Wasn't that exciting? Yo, what's up? Hello, Tommy. And I'm just basically sitting in my vehicle with a flashlight. Alright, well, there's 5 people here, and I'm assuming people are going to watch this on a repeat anyway. I'm actually struggling on whether or not I want to say the things I originally wanted to say, because it could ruin it for people. If hey, Vanny, what's up? If like, because I think I found at least another level to this, and I'm surprised that I could even come to this conclusion, because like I said, I'm very simple, I'm very stupid, and I'm not looking for sympathy, so, you know, don't even write anything. Like, I've completely skated through life, and if the world was real like we think it is, it wouldn't make any sense that I would ever make it. I could never survive a day in a real world. I'm too lazy, and you know, just, you know, not interested in working hard or anything. But alright, so I'm gonna get to the point here. As of right now, I'm not just gonna come out and say what I want to say. If I do, I do. But I'm gonna drop a bunch of hints at least. So, and I have to read them because I'm a scatterbrain. So, a little while ago, I put a link up to this guy, Aaron Dover. If anybody has watched his videos, good. If not, please watch them. The dude's funny as shit, and he really the way he thinks of things. Apparently he's dead. Who knows? You know, nobody's really dead. They're just somewhere else. But just the way that he thinks about everything is refreshing, and it's funny. But and this is the weird thing that, like, life seems to do to us a lot with a lot of different things. It makes us think that we're doing something when we're really not. Like, when what's an example? Like, I was thinking that I was seeing through the bullshit of the world, and then you'll find like another layer deep, and you're like, oh my god, I wasn't. I was completely blind. And then another layer comes, and you keep waking up more and more. But like you really have to look at everything like a child again. And we've all heard that a billion times, right? But you have to forget and MA says this all the time, forget absolutely everything that you think you know, because there's like a 99% chance it's bullshit. And so anyway, this guy Aaron Dover, he has a bunch of videos like icebergs are hoaxes. Now, that probably sounds ridiculous to all of us, but unless you've seen one, you don't know. And funny enough, I brought this up to a guy at work today. You know what? I'll get to that in a second. Hold on. Alright, so Aaron Dover also has something about, he thinks that the Earth is like constantly recycling things, and that I thought that a long time ago for some reason, and I'd have no reason to because I don't like study anything. But so like say the seawater, the tides. What if they're getting sucked up through the roots of those old big trees that used to apparently be here, and they recycled, or they separate the salt out from the salt water, and it becomes fresh waters coming down from the mountains now, which are those trees or whatever. So, and if you look at freshwater streams and think about how often it rains, it doesn't rain that often to where these streams should be flowing all the time, right? So that seems to make a lot of sense to me. So that's what I'm going with. But yeah, I mean, so we're constantly being sold fear. There's scarcity of this. We're ruining the atmosphere. The end zone layer's breaking. What if we're all totally fine and we're all going? There's really no consequences. We don't have to worry about the water. We don't. Well, I mean, we do now because it's being poisoned or whatever. But even that, what if that's just part of the game or the program or whatever it is. We're constantly being fed that we don't have enough of things, and that's the only way this system works, right? If they can sell us this bullshit, and it couldn't be anything further from the truth. Alright, so yeah, everything is a hoax unless you experience it, or is that even good enough? Because oh shit, hold on, son of a bitch. Okay, so the iceberg thing. I happen to bring this up to. I've never met anybody who's seen an iceberg, so I bring up this icebergs could be a hoax. He goes, my friend at work, Steve, said, he's like, I've seen an iceberg. I was like, in person. He's like, yeah, and I was like, it's not that I didn't believe him, but I was like, I want to hear the details. So I go, give me the details. He was like, we were on a cruise. I guess it was like him and his girlfriend or something, and I was like, but like, where were you going that there would be an iceberg? He's like, well, that's the thing. It was like a freak of nature. I go, what, were you off the coast of Florida? He's like, yeah, we were going off the coast of Florida, and the captain called us all out to see an iceberg. I go, what was the weather? He's like, I don't know, it was warm. I go, what, 60 degrees? Yeah, about 60 degrees. All right, so you got a huge chunk of ice in 60-degree weather, and so it's warm, and the water, ice cubes melt in water, right? And even if it's cold water, that ice isn't gonna last long. And he said, we saw it break apart and everything. So what I'm getting at here is, what if that whole scene was like a setup just for them? And that sounds ridiculous if life is real, but if it's a program, it was just set up for them to see, to believe it. And we are seeing people edit reality. Maybe it's us doing it, but regardless, reality is being edited constantly. We know it's possible. So what's the difference in changing Berenstain to Berenstein or whatever, or putting an iceberg in the middle of an ocean? What's the difference? It's changing something that isn't supposed to be there. Okay, so that was like the whole point. Anyway, he said he saw an iceberg, but all the details of it didn't add up to, if this is a real world, why it would be there, and he said it was like falling apart in front of their eyes. So it's like it must have just showed up and started like melting and cracking and splintering and all that. I thought that was pretty funny, but okay. The world seems to leave clues all over the place that we're retarded and that we're blind. Lately I've been thinking a lot about those old-timey bikes with the big wheel in the front and the small wheel in the back. If you've ever seen Jackass, I don't remember which one, they actually do a little scene with that, and it's really funny because the one guy, Ryan Dunn, is riding one of them, and he says something like, he's like, this is ridiculous, why is this wheel so big? And if you look at things like the seats, like they're way too high up. You'd have to get on a ladder to get on one of these things. Unless the big wheels in the front and the small wheel in the back has some kind of really weird benefit that we can't see, and it's just like suppressed tech, then why the fuck would you do that? It makes no sense. It looks very uncomfortable, and why would you go through all that trouble when you can have two wheels the same size, smaller, and you don't have to get on a ladder to get on the fucking bike? It's absurd, is what I'm saying. Like, life is absurd, and there's clues all over the place that it is absurd. And I think that after we die, we're going to be surrounded by each other and our other loved ones, and we're going to be laughing our asses off at how fucking stupid we were. Like, why didn't you notice the bikes? Why didn't you look at them and see how absurd this is? And you know, you think back to like all these little things, like one day we'll look back and laugh, and this is what I think of when I now, like, everything makes sense. Songs, you know, all right, hold on, one more thing. Somebody brought this up on the Facebook page. I think they were called Jacobines, the frilly neck things. Why would anybody wear those ever? The people of the past, were they retarded? Like, we're retarded now, but I think they were like smarter than we are now. And are you telling me that they thought a frilly thing around your neck looks good, and it doesn't look absurd at all, and it's really comfortable to wear one of those? Why? You wouldn't wear that. That's why it's ridiculous. All right. All right, give me a second here. Okay. When you think of like songs, like I've been listening to the same music since the 80s and 90s. Early 2000s, they stopped making good music, I think. So, can everybody hear me okay, by the way? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so, okay, goody. Thank you. So I've been listening to the same music for over 20 years. And as many times as I've heard these songs, recently some certain songs have been popping in my head, and so I'll listen to it, or even just like a specific line, and it's like I've never listened to it before and like really thought about what the hell they're saying. There's little clues in the songs that we love. Hold on one second, I gotta find the one that I'm talking about here. Alright, yeah. So this band that I like called The Descendants, they have a song called Coolidge, and a line popped into my head the other day, and the line is, I looked up one day and saw that it was up to me. You can only be a victim if you admit defeat. And I heard the song thousands of times, and as depressed as I've been, like, you know, for a while, I've admitted defeat a billion times. Like, I've called to God or whoever to please just fucking, I'm done, because I'm an asshole, I'm doing this wrong, and I just want out. But how many times, I can only speak for myself, but I can't say that I've really ever suffered besides in my own head. I've never had to go to jail. I've never had to work hard to the point of passing out. So everything else is like, you know, unless I've died, which I don't remember it and didn't feel it that I know of. So it's like, have any of us really ever suffered? What if we really don't have anything to lose? There are no consequences, and this is a game. Is basically what I'm getting at. And I don't want to make this sound fucking like I'm saying we are God, but what if we are like gods in the sense that we have superpowers, everything that we want, we can get with the wave of a finger? Wouldn't you create a place to figure out what it's like, or to experience what it's like to have extreme limitations and pain and stuff, because you don't know what it's like? Maybe the real us is, we don't have these things for real, and this is like the closest we can get. I'm sure that none of this is new. Like, I'm sure you've heard stuff like this before, but it's just, I don't know. Like, last week I was out of work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I was in bed for 3 days because I was a fucking miserable mess, and I was in my head for 3 days straight. Barely. Well, I slept a lot, but just didn't. I just didn't want to go on, and then something happened like the last couple days where I'm like figuring this stuff out, and whether it's maybe this is just another layer to it. I'm sure more things will come to make me think that whatever I'm thinking now is wrong. But that's how the game would work if it was a game, wouldn't it? It's always throwing us curveballs and always getting us off the path and then back on. So that's why it all seems to make so much sense that this is a type of a simulation or something. All right, hold on. Sorry. Okay. Shit. Certain things will stick out to us when someone says it. Like when M.A. said a while ago, the way he said it, it got stuck in my head. Like he goes, "This is about you. This is your adventure." I can't do a good accent. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I'm not looking at the comments. Because I'm an idiot. So I don't want to be here for an hour or 4 like Scott. Yes, he's like, this is about you. This is your adventure. And as soon as he said that, I thought of choose your own adventure books. This is like a choose your own adventure book. And if we're living in multiple timelines, whatever decisions we're making, it's just bringing us to a different page. And we think we're experiencing just this one now, but that's impossible to even know what it's like to, from our perspective, to experience multiple realities or whatever. So who knows what that is. I just thought it was very interesting that came to mind. Everyone else that we love that we think aren't here with us, they're having their own adventures. Maybe they're doing something boring like having kids or cooking. We're weird. We like paranormal shit. So we decided to have a paranormal adventure, and it's working out pretty fucking fantastic, isn't it? Sure, we had to go through, I had to go through, 30 some odd years to get to this point, and it was pretty boring, but I can't really say that either, because I've had some pretty amazing friends, and I have the greatest girl in the world right now, so, and it doesn't make sense why I'm fucking miserable. But I'm not today, which is, like, another reason why I wanted to get on, because I wanted to, if this is true, what I'm saying, and somebody else needed to hear this, because I'm going to start crying, hold on. I didn't want to hold it back. I'm going to turn the camera because I don't want anybody to see me look like a fucking asshole. The way that, like, M.A. does things is good because he makes us figure it out. For ourselves. But I fuck me. I didn't want anybody else to suffer if what I'm saying is true. Just another second, hold on. Fuck. Alright, so anyway, Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next thing. So we're gonna see our friends and family again. They're just having shittier adventures, all right? That sounds funny, doesn't it? Especially while crying. I think I'm a little better now, so I'll just put the camera back on. So yes, look at everything like a child again, like you don't know what the hell you're looking at, because you probably don't. Sorry, hold on. I can remember meeting one of my best friends, like seeing them in the hallway at school like 2 years before I knew her, and just being very not attracted to her. Like she's not like my type, but just like I as if I knew I was going to be very good friends with her. I was like staring at her whenever I'd see her, and it didn't make sense why. I had no reason to, and didn't know who she was. Ended up being friends with her for 20 some odd years, and right now it's not the same person. But eventually, I think I'm gonna see them again. So that's one thing to look forward to. They're gonna be the ones next to us laughing at how retarded we were to not see all the signs. And maybe we feel like we know each other because we live the same types of lives over again. I was thinking about this from that Osiris, I think it is, story, and his wife, and that they came back as different people. I forget the whole story, but that might be the familiarity we have with each other, because we live similar lives in different times. I know I've said it, like I have like my drug problem and everything, and I think it's actually being fixed for me anyway, because and this is happening to Sammy too. Oh, there he is. No, that's Rockbiter. Sam also has the same thing, where the substance that we have problems with, we're taking them and they're not working, but we're still taking them like dummies because, we're scared. I think that whatever, again, this gets back to the we probably really don't have any consequences or anything to lose or anything to fear, because we're probably given many chances to fix things ourselves, and if we don't, there's always an out. Weed. Yeah, weed. Okay. No, pills. But there always seems to be an out, and if we can't do it, it's going to get fixed for us. And I think that's why my medication isn't working anymore, because I was given a billion chances to stop, and I didn't do it, so it's being done for me, which is good, because I have no willpower. Hold on one more second. Okay, yeah. I think I already said this. Like, wouldn't if you were a god type, where you were like a superhero or something, had anything you wanted, wouldn't you make a place where you handicapped yourself? And in my case, brain and abilities. And you'd want to make yourself think you only have a certain time to live, and not know what's on after, and you always you're always scared, because what if it's nothing? You'd want to set limits like that, so you would actually get off your ass and do something. And that still wasn't enough for me. I haven't done shit with my life, but I still had a good life. And this comes back to what Emma said before about I would have never chosen this life, and I've thought that for 41 years until today, because think about the people, like, even if it's only you have 2 friends or 1 friend, or anybody, and how wonderful they are. Like, you may have chosen, and I think it makes sense now, but before it didn't. Like, I wouldn't choose a boring, stupid, life where you work a meaningless job and stuff. But that's just part of the game, because it can't make it seem wonderful. It's got to make it seem shitty, right? But there's a lot of good things we have, and we don't see it because we're idiots. We're asshats. Last thing, I'm trying to make this as quick as I can, because I just want to get this out quick, but the last thing I want to say is, like, think of things like, I just like to call this, what are the fucking odds? I used to, like, just drink and drive a lot, and just lots of stupid shit with drinking and drugs. Never got caught, not even close. What are the fucking odds when I drove home drunk so many nights out of the week for so many years? Never got pulled over. Had a cop behind me once, but I've never had to do hard time. I've never even been in jail. Nothing. I will be now. But it's like, I have, oh shit, hold on. Shit. I think my battery's about to die. Just look at things throughout your life and how many really bad things you've had to suffer through, and how many things you've gotten away with. You gotta think, what are the fucking odds? And that, like, you know, we see people in prisons. We don't know if they're all just NPCs. And maybe that is what it is. Like, you have to be shown, like, that there's a path to such an awful life if you go this route, to scare you straight. But maybe there's no consequences, and they're just there as set pieces. A friend told me a story about how he became homeless, and the very day someone walked by, he was sitting on the steps, what am I going to do, what am I going to do? Somebody walked by that he knew and said, hey, what's going on? Talk to him for a few minutes. Oh yeah, you know anybody who needs, like, a room? I need a roommate. So, like, again, there's always an out. What are the fucking odds? So yeah, if this is the case, then that's good. I'm gonna just believe this is the case, because I needed something to get me out of the misery, and this seems to do it. I don't know why or how, but I'm not a fucking wreck for once in my life, and that's a wonderful thing. But I'm sure when the day comes when I do really have to, like, completely stop doing certain bad things, I'm going to be singing a different tune. I'm going to be screaming at all of you that I want to be dead. But for right now, that's okay, because I feel fine now. And okay, sorry, one more thing. The times in your past that you can remember, like, something you've had to suffer that was pretty fucking bad, it's a little hazy, isn't it? Like almost like you're just watching it from the outside. I can't, I don't know, maybe memories might, like, be implants that never happened. Who knows? It's fucking, this whole thing is goofy, ain't it? Whoops, got out of my notes there, but that's okay, because I think I'm done anyway. So yeah, I love you guys very much. I wish I could have watched the comments. Is there a way to save them? Whatever. Maybe I can just watch through. Yeah, I'm gonna go. So hopefully that helps somebody. I love you all, and goodbye. See ya.